I should say the stats.jar file actually works with the hello package. So I added something called try this. It's basically just a way to run statistics using Jython, or that is a Python and Java integration. And maybe we'll start here first because it's actually a really simple example, and then I'll move on to the more complex example. Basically, it's to run a Java and Python integration, all you need to do is literally integrate Jython into Java. And that should be part of your installation already if you have it, if you've installed Jython from what I've mentioned on week 4 or in earlier weeks as well. I think I discussed it. In any case, Jython should be part of the overall installation that you have that also works with PyDev. And all you have to do is basically add a new project. You can do that by adding here, or a new run file, excuse me, or rather a run launch. You can do this new launch configuration under Jython. So instead of PyDev or Python run, we're going to go use Jython this time. So Jython is the Java Python integration way of running things, basically. So all you have to do is add a new launch there. And then you just have to basically point to the specific file you want. So in Hello World 2, for instance, we can then browse to the specific Python, or I should say, I guess, Jython implementation of basically the statistics that we'll be using using Java, the actual module that has that. So that's under try this in Hello. So if we go to that, we just say OK. And all you have to do is, just like in a PyDev or Python run, is just press apply, and you'll see all these libraries integrated. And then we should press run, and it should work just as fine. So what's going on here, or another way to do it, of course, is just simply right-click and say run as, and then Jython instead of Python run. So that's another way to run it. You can do it like this, and you can it's already integrated, so it's already pointing to it. But we can just say, sure, okay, use the try this package, and it should again produce some statistical output. So don't worry about the specific output. But just a quick recap is all it's basically doing is integrating a jar called statistics or stats.jar, and here it's being referenced just as you would a normal library in Python. So it literally just integrates it like you would as if it's a Python library. And then it's going to apply the actual methods in that library. So it's using statistics, and it computes the mean. So you use those methods as if it's like a Python method. So you would go ahead and use a similar syntax by giving it some input data, DND in this case, and it produces a mean. You will see you could also use it as a kind of class. So there's a Jython calculator, which we can import. And that's basically a way to use a Python Java calculator integrated together in a class. And here, again, it's just using a simple calculation tool, basically, where it uses a calculation addition of two different things, a tip and a tax, to determine a total cost, for instance. Okay, so what it's doing is basically being operated under the main. So it's creating this Jython calculator, giving some tips and cost and tax, and then putting those outputs together here, and then applying the total in terms of calculating them. Okay, so that's one way of doing things versus, say, using the Jython way of integrating libraries. So we've integrated a library of stats. So that's a very simple example of how one can actually go about integrating Java libraries into Python. Basically, all you got to do is reference the library in the properties in Eclipse, and then you wrap that. You make sure that the actual library is wrapped into your run application. So in try this, within the Python path, you should see one of the jars is the stats.jar, and you can see that here. So that means it's now in the run path. There's no need for arguments, and within Jython, it's going to assume that you have Java installed as well as Python, so it'll know that to make them work together, and then you press run. And then the only thing you have to keep in mind is that the method that you call has to be the same as the method that is referenced in the Java. So, and that may require specific types of input arguments. So you have to know a little bit about what's actually required on the Java side, what methods used, and what are the inputs required to get the output that you want. So this is a very simple way of getting both mathematical calculations from Java, using math in Java in this example, but also using a statistics library that I've created, a stats library that I've created, and where we calculated the mean. Okay, so in both cases, they're a very simple set of inputs that look a lot like normal Python, really.